It's your favorite YouTube dealer. I appreciate you guys for stopping in. We got some new Harry Mack. My man is still on a roll with these drops. It's crazy how often he's actually putting music out. This one is called No Regard. Let's just get into it. Let's see what that man's cooking with. Nice little vibe to it.
Yeah, said this the man the fans adore. Understand I can't ignore y'all. I speak the truth when I stand before y'all. I hope me rising to the occasion inspires you to answer your call. And iron that slouch out your back to have you standing more tall. I keep it fresh, I never plan to bore y'all. Metaphors within my stanzas make my art pop like Andy Warhol. We packed the van for tour, slam the door. Now my team is getting to the capital like planes when they land in Warsaw.
Already the schemes and stuff like that, but I do like how he opened it up. Like, I hope that me doing what I'm doing and reaching my peaks is going to really inspire you guys to go for your shit, right? And I would 100% agree with that. Like, I was already obviously on my path of trying to do music and trying to do YouTube and stuff like that, but coming across people like Harry, it just reinforces that drive, that motivation, that, you know what, like, hard work pays off. Let me just keep to it. Like, it keeps you on your shit. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that. I like the Andy Warhol line. The scheme that he did from Andy Warhol to like the little switch up back to Warsaw, that was fire. This whole, at this point, we already get, this man doesn't miss. Like, he don't miss.
Yeah, said this the man the fans adore. Understand I can't ignore y'all. I speak the truth when I stand before y'all. I hope me rising to the occasion inspires you to answer your call. And iron that slouch out your back to have you standing more tall. I keep it fresh, I never plan to bore y'all. Metaphors within my stanzas make my art pop like Andy Warhol. We packed the van for tour, slam the door. Now my team is getting to the capital like planes when they land in Warsaw. I'm going crazy with these jams I record. My land in the ward, new uncharted land I explore. The pen is mightier, so I ain't gotta brandish a sword or a pen, really. I just let the cameras record. I got more lyrics than this grains of sand at the shore. That's facts, and to be sure, I plan to do more. I'm handling business, my man, I hope you handling yours. Cause when the game comes knocking, I'ma answer the door for real. Yeah, this is for the ones that's going hard, managing their scars and keeping the open heart. You a star, homie, you know you are. Fuck the haters, keep paying them no regard.
Facts. Can't pay people any regard. Like, to be real with you, like, having all hate is not a good thing, obviously. But inevitably, as you do stuff, you're going to garner hate. Especially the bigger that you get, you're going to have people that are going to hate on you. And sometimes it can definitely bring you down, right? Like, you read that one negative comment, it kind of hits you harder than the hundreds of positive ones. But at the same time, you got to just look at it like that should motivate you to continue to prove that person wrong, or to prove them wrong in the first place if they're doubting something that you're trying to achieve that you haven't done yet. And it should just, you know what I'm saying? That, like, where you at now kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get to this point, and I hope you stick around to find out, because I want to see what you got to say then. That kind of shit should definitely push you. I also like how we said the pen is mightier than the sword. Obviously, that's something some people just say, like, in general, but it really has a lot of truth to it when you think about it. Now, not necessarily just with music, but just the pen, the speech. Like, there's a lot of power behind that, because when you think about it throughout the history of time, a lot of people that were really great speakers can garner a big following, a lot of people behind them, sometimes in not so many good ways. Sometimes it's for a good cause, but it gets people behind you, and it does so more so than you brandishing a sword and trying to do something that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, because then you could get millions of people behind you brandishing swords that are ready to go to war for you, just off of you with the pen, the speech, the, you know what I'm saying? So I like that bar, because you can look at it a bunch of different ways.
No regard. Fuck the haters, pay them no regard. Be yourself, but no facade. And keep growing into the goal. Yeah, you know you are. Raw truth, I express in my music. I speak on what I feel, so the message is fluid. If there's something you wanna pursue, go ahead and just do it. Long as you gave your all, the efforts could never be fruitless, for real. I know at times the stress and pressure is ruthless.
I got to keep pausing it. I'm sorry. I can't help it. This man speaks on a lot of shit that needs to be talked about. I like that. As long as you put your all into something, it doesn't mean you're going to make it. That's the one thing that I feel like people need to acknowledge, right? Like, because you see people make it, and sometimes they'll push this narrative, and they don't even mean to. They're just trying to tell you that hard work gets you there. And they're not wrong. But hard work doesn't always work, in the sense that every single person that tries to do something is not going to make it. You may have even put in a little bit more work than the person that does make it, right? It doesn't mean that they didn't put in their all. It's just that you might have even pushed further and put in even more than that and still didn't make it. And it doesn't mean that it's an inaccurate statement that hard work pays off. It just means that there is always that little bit of luck that's involved, right? Like there's a lot of really dope rappers out there, but there's a lot of them that never get heard, that never make any noise, but they put out tons of music and they work really hard at their craft, right? Because that little bit of luck for some reason just didn't seem to hit them. So luck is really kind of the differentiating factor, but it's not going to be the differentiating factor for you if you don't also put in that hard work, because it's just necessary. So I like that he kind of said that.
No regard.
I want to hear him say it again so I could speak on exactly what I wanted to say.
But no facade. Yeah. Growing into the goat. Yeah. You know you said.
Oh, that's what he said, that it will never be fruitless. And the reason why is because even if you put in all that hard work and that luck doesn't hit you to then push you to that next level, you learned a lot on that path. And then you could take what you've learned, whether it's about music itself, even if you pivot to something that has nothing to do with music and everything that you learned throughout music doesn't apply to what you go to. You've learned other things along the way. You've learned consistency. You've learned work ethic. You've learned a lot of other things that you can now bring into that other path that you try to achieve. And it can make that path that much more likely for it to bring you somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So there is always something that you gain, regardless of whether you win or fail at the end of it.
Raw truth I express in my music. I speak on what I feel, so the message is fluid. If it's something you want to pursue, go ahead and just do it. Long as you gave your all, the efforts could never be fruitless, for real. I know at times the stress and pressure is ruthless, and the lack of results can make you question your movements. Shift your perspective and view this as a test of your trueness. It's impressive to stay invested through the mess of confusion. It's respectable to
facts.
a level I can hardly express, to accept the inevitably hard parts of your quest. Look in the mirror, be hard on your chest, because you prove to yourself that you got a fucking heart in your chest. That's real.
Yo, this shit is, I like this. I like this a lot. That's another crazy real statement, right? And again, you know, there's nothing wrong with pivoting at some point if you feel like it's necessary, but don't pivot at that first failure, at that first lack of success, because that's going to stop you from ever getting anywhere. If you stop the first time that you hit some failure, you hit a brick wall and shit isn't going any further, that the ability to stay on point and continue to stay consistent and dedicated and have that work ethic, despite the fact, like you said, the mess of confusion of like, should I continue to do this? Is this really working? You know, it hasn't given me any results in this period of time. Should I stop? Like, pushing through that is respectable. It shows that you have heart. And that's what really gives you the opportunity to potentially make it, because there's a lot of people that are trying to do almost everything in life. So almost anything that you do, it's going to be a lot of others trying to do the same thing at some aspect, whether you see it, you don't see it, but there's going to be a lot of people that are going to hit that first wall, that second wall, that third wall, and they're going to give in. And you continuing to go just betters your chances, but it also continues to teach you, again, that work ethic, that don't give up, that drive to push past the bullshit and not let it, you know, deter you. And again, there's nothing wrong at some point in pivoting if you feel like you absolutely have to. But even then, there's always that chance that you pivoted, right? Like, it's like that meme where that person is digging underground and there's like the diamond like 5 feet away from him, right? And he stops and he's turned around walking the other way, but the guy below kept going and he hit that diamond. There's no guarantee it's going to be there, but like the longer that you're going and it's consistent and the more that you're learning in that craft and whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, the better that chance is that you're eventually going to get there. You know what I'm saying? And I see this with like my anime reaction channel. There was somebody that made a comment, only one person, but they made a comment where it's like, bro, the amount of views that you're getting, like, why even do, like, it's pointless that you're even uploading. Like, you could spend your time doing something else, because on that channel, it's hit or miss. Some of my videos get 50 to 60 views in the first week that it's out. It's not a lot of views. Some of them get a couple hundred. Over time, I've gotten some that have gone to thousands, depending on what it is, but it's based around, like, you know, a popular anime, but it's not the anime show itself I'm reacting to. And then some of them will get 400, 500, 600. Like, it just kind of depends, but I enjoy what I'm doing and I'm learning as I go. I'm learning to try to make better thumbnails. I'm learning to try to be better as far as my reactions go, and like when I should stop or shouldn't stop, what I should elaborate on and talk about, and how long I should do it. And so it's a process, and I'm still figuring it out, and I'm okay with it. Some channels get made and they blow up when it comes to these kind of reactions within the first couple of months to the first year. I've been doing it for almost a year now, and it's not blown up. And that's okay, because you know what? I'm watching a lot of really dope anime shows. I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun. And the people that are there are enjoying it with me, and I'm cool with that. And if at some point it does grow to more, that's great as well. Like I'm not gonna compare myself to other channels around me because everybody's on their own pace, right? Like just because one channel blew up in the first 6 months doesn't mean that I have to do the same thing, because there's also another channel I can look at that blew up in the first 2 months, right? And imagine if that 6 month channel looked at that and said, well, damn, I'm 2 months in. They had this many subscribers. I didn't make it. I may as well give up. But they continue to go. And then that 6 month thing happened where they started to catch attention. So it's just like, you never know what it is. You just kind of keep learning as you go and figure out what's going to work in the algorithm, what people are looking for, what people want to see, and kind of just figuring that out. And it's a long-term game, but I also put a lot of time into other channels as well. So maybe that takes away from it a little bit. Like there's a lot of things that I have to keep in mind, but I'm not going to let somebody who's like, well, this is a waste of time, I wouldn't do this. Like, that's great. It's a good thing that I'm not you, right? Because if I thought that with my initial YouTube channel, which is over 100,000 views, or 100,000 subscribers, not 100,000 views. And I, whether that channel is doing well now, I've kind of redirected it to a completely different content base, which not the smartest idea, but you do what you want to do, right? That's how I always approach it. I just do what I enjoy doing. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I was doing YouTube on and off since 2016. And not until the very beginning of 2019 did I ever catch any attention. So that's 3 years of me doing videos for like 20, 30 views. A few video ideas I came up with had like 25,000, 30,000, 40,000, but they didn't get me a lot of subscribers and I barely grew. And then all of a sudden in 2019, 3 years into it, boom, I suddenly started to grow and I found a video that got me a lot of attention and I built from that. Now I changed the content to something completely different. So a lot of those 100,000 subscribers are not there for that new content. So I'm constantly losing subs and gaining new ones. And I'm kind of like swapping out like people that just don't care about the new content for people that do. So it's going to be a slow process, but it is growing in the right direction. And I'm okay with that. But other people don't see that from the outside looking in because they can't see my analytics. They can't see what I'm doing or have any understanding of it. They just go, oh, look at the views compared to the sub count, you failed. And it's like, nah, not really. Like I made a choice to go this route. So, there's a lot of different things to it, and sticking with it is something that I've learned works probably more so than anything else. That consistency and the drive to just not kind of give up. Anyways, I'm chatting now for way too long. Let's keep going. My bad.
All the efforts could never be fruitless, for real. I know at times the stress and pressure is ruthless, and the lack of results can make you question your movements. Shift your perspective and view this as a test of your trueness. It's impressive to stay invested through the mess of confusion. It's respectable to a level I can hardly express, to accept the inevitably hard parts of your quest. Look in the mirror, be hard on your chest, because you prove to yourself that you got a fucking heart in your chest. That's real. And to the ones that scarred and depressed, feeling like they far from the best, still out there finding their groove. Y'all are inspiring. Keep on aligning your truth. There's beauty in the struggle. Y'all are undeniable proof. Come on. This is for the ones that's going hard.
I like this.
Managing their scars and keeping the open heart. You a star, homie, you know you are. Fuck the haters, keep paying them no regard. No regard. Fuck the haters, pay them no regard. Be yourself, but no facade, and keep growing into the goal that you know you are.
I like this. This one was fire. Shout out to Harry for this one. I rock with this. I'm not going to keep it long because I said so much already during the video. But all I'm trying to say is it takes time. You know what I'm saying? For my one channel to grow anywhere, it took me 3 years. And I went from gaming content to different types of edits and different style of gaming content to then all of a sudden diving into a little bit of music stuff and back and forth. And then finally I found a lane that started to work for me. And, I got a little crazy once I hit 100,000 subscribers and I completely redirected that channel. I just was like, oh, we're going this way. No, I'm going to go this way now. And so inevitably I kind of put that channel in the dirt a little bit, right? But I'm growing it out slowly but surely, and I'm doing it in a way that I like with content that I enjoy doing. I made a new channel for my music reactions, which is right here where you guys are watching right now. I got the anime reaction channel, and anybody that's like, well, this is failing, that's cool. Give me another year or two. Give me a little bit of time. Let me stay consistent, and we'll revisit that discussion, and we'll see what's happening. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But you know what? I'm going to continue to go for another couple years, and we'll see where it's at then. And that's just the way that I approach things in life now. I've learned that hard work pays off, and consistency is probably the most important thing. So stick with the shit that you enjoy. I appreciate you guys. I will catch you in the next one, homies.